All right, everyone, it's Ignatius L. Jackson, CPA, here again with my co-host Eric Pierre, CPA.
What it do? Astros just won up 2-0 against Seattle, so I got my Astro cap. Trill OG from Bum B. Trill, for those of you that from H-Town, means true and real. And OG gangster, of course, Astros. And yeah, let's go Stros, up 2-0 on Seattle. All right, I'll take it off now.
It's up to you, brother. You can wear it if you want to wear it. So
Nah, man, because it's the snapback. It doesn't sit as well as the fitted, but that's the one I had here in the office. So just wanted to give a shout to my hometown, Houston Astros. I've gone to a lot of games. I'm hoping the Astros play the Dodgers in the World Series. So either way, if the Astros beat the Dodgers, I can tell my Dodger fan friends, hey, we cheated. We beat you straight up. We own you. If the Dodgers beat the Astros, he said, enough about 2017. Zip it. You got your title. You got your revenge. You're worse than Cubs fans, Dodger fans. And relax.
Yep. All right. Well, there you go. All right. Well, if you couldn't tell, this is actually a financial podcast. So this is called the CPA Huddle. We talk about a bunch of wide-ranging stuff related to finances, from accounting to taxes to loans to whatever you want to call it. So, right. And so today's topic, we're talking about business credit. This is something that I don't think we've really touched on very much on the podcast. We might have touched on it a little bit here and there, but not in like detail. And so we wanted to bring in an expert that has a company called Business Credit Works. His name is Darryl Johnson. So he's here on the podcast with us. He's going to educate us a little bit on what does it mean to have true business credit. I'm not talking about that fake business credit where you're personally guaranteeing it. I'm talking about true business credit where it's just in your corporate name and it's not tied to your personal name whatsoever. I know I have some of it. I don't know. Eric, do you have any of it yet?
No, I've done the guarantee in the past. My previous vehicle, this one's in my name. So I'm actually curious about this as well.
So yeah, I bought a truck. I shouldn't say bought a truck. I leased a truck last year, and it's solely in my business name. All right, solely my business name, and it was pretty awesome. So went into the deal. I'll tell you my story later. Anyways, let's loop in Darryl Johnson here to chat with us a little bit about what he does, a little bit about himself, kind of his history and kind of what he does, and then we can jump into some Q&A type stuff here.
All right. Thank you. Nice meeting you guys. Hey, Eric, nice meeting you.
Man, you got that.
Hold on one second.
Man, hold on. What is this?
Hold on one second. I almost forgot. I have to ask you a question, Eric. Before Darryl introduces himself, I just want to know, because I know what I immediately thought first time I saw Mr. Darryl Johnson here, but I want to know what you think. Who does he remind you of, or who does he look like?
Emmett Smith. Emmett Smith. I haven't heard that one before.
I haven't either.
Oh, he hasn't heard it before either. So what I hear, and most people, what they say is Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Man, he too skinny to look like Uncle Phil, man.
Oh, thank you. The diet's working. The diet's working.
He looks more like Emmett Smith. And they're probably the same height and build too. Like
Darryl just camera.
Darryl looks more like Emmett Smith than Uncle Phil, man. He's much darker, Uncle Phil. He's got better teeth, Uncle Phil, and he's got a smoother voice, man. I mean, I'm just glad I'm a straight male, man, because that voice. No wonder you're getting all those deals with female entrepreneurs, man. You gotta be kidding me.
For most people, the camera takes away 15 pounds. For him, adds 15 pounds.
It adds 15 pounds. Yeah, he's more Emmett Smith than Uncle Phil, in my personal opinion.
I gotta look up Emmett Smith now. Oh yes, Emmett Smith. Okay.
Yeah, because Emmett's got that beard like you, and y'all have similar round face.
Okay.
All right. Here's what we're gonna do. When Eric's in town, he's gonna be in town next week for the SDRA summit, and we're gonna have. You'll probably come by the office at some point. So. Or we'll meet up or something like that. But you're going to meet Darryl in person. I want you to give me your opinion once you see him in person. All right. There.
But we can't. We need to not announce when we're meeting because you know how it is. They know three black men getting together. There'll be cops waiting for us, so we can't announce that.
Oh
Yes,
Lord.
I said. Yes, I said that. Yep, I
All
did.
right.
It's all good.
Back to Darryl. Sorry, Darryl, to sidetrack us, but tell us about yourself and what you
Okay.
do.
Okay. It's going to be one of those podcasts. Okay. Hey, I'm Darryl Johnson, founder of Business Credit Works. A little bit about myself. I started my career back in, quite a while back. Started at Charles Schwab in operations. I spent 10 years in ops. Then I moved over to the banking world, another 10 plus years in the banking side from short sale negotiator, foreclosure specialist, loan origination. Had a drive-by appraisal company doing BPO, CMAs. Started my company, Business Credit Works, and one of the prerequisites for it was to give any financial institution more positive data to analyze credit worthiness. So my take is from a underwriter, processor, operational stance, where an underwriter, if they've got more positive data, credit score, they're going to want to basically grade that file just as that is, just grade the file and be able to actually write a bigger check. Because that credit score, whether it's personal or business, speaks to character. So if your company has a good credit score, it just speaks to your company pays its bills on time. I'm recently a MBE certified business. I'm also getting my DBE, and I'm also LGBTQ certified.
Oh,
So
All right.
interesting.
You threw out a lot of acronyms. Let's explain
Yeah,
these acronyms. Except for
the
the
alphabet
LGBTQ,
soup.
I think everybody knows what that is, but
Yeah,
explain
yeah,
some
yeah.
other ones. Yeah.
minority business enterprise. I want to move over into and disadvantage, move over into working with government contracts. So working with construction companies and getting their business credit established because they're more growth and scale companies. And I'm also focusing on the real estate side. When I first started, I broad net. Everybody needs business credit, but they don't know that they need it, and they don't know that it's a tool that they need in their toolbox. And I have to say, it's looked at in the community, in my opinion, as a hustle, as I can get by with getting business credit and not get my consumer credit together. I'm from corporate America. Get that file together. We know when we go into lending institutions, they're already going to scrutinize our files deeper. So why not have your consumer credit, your business credit, and your books together so they can write you a bigger check? So I tell my clients I'd rather go slow to go fast. If you come to me and you want business credit to start, yeah, the age old thing is, oh, I want my company to purchase property. Okay, how long have you been established? Oh, well, I just started. I started my LLC. Well, you still have your company has to qualify. I need some tax returns to show your business can pay the bill. So I feel like on the street there's a lot of hustle with business credit as opposed to a viable business tool that every business needs to grow and scale their business.
Great point. Great point. And it's so powerful, the use of business credit. So I guess where I want to go from there, now that we kind of have a good understanding of what you're doing, a little about your background, let's talk about why do you think so many people are not aware of the fact that they can get business credit that's solely in their business name, solely using their employer identification number or EIN? Why do you think people don't realize this? I think people understand that there's like Chase credit cards and American Express credit cards where you basically are personally guaranteeing the business credit cards, right? And those are great cards. Don't get me wrong. I have those cards because they have some of the best rewards programs out there in terms of travel benefits and stuff like that. So I think you absolutely need those in your toolkit. But I think you also want to have some stuff that's
Right.
solely in the business credit. That way, you're building that business profile so that if you need that loan or something, or you need some financing at some point in the future, then you can, get it in your business name and not affect your debt to income ratio, your personal credit scores and stuff like that. So just to kind of throw that out there, tell me why you think people aren't aware of it now that you've been in the space so long.
Well, what's crazy is when I first started 6 years ago, there was really nobody in it. So I feel like I'm the grandfather of business credit because there's now more people in the space. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of them are self-taught because when I first got into it, people thought it was me and a buddy figuring it out and doing the file for themselves. And I explained I work with Fortune 500 companies that actually they specialize in building a credit score and credit profile, and they have research and development departments that are constantly adding on the vendors that we work with. So it's not me and somebody else trying to figure it out. And just in said over the 6 years, a lot more people are in the space, which is a twofold. One is less education because they're kind of familiar with it, um, well, education, I guess exposure to understanding business credit, the education comes in there now, explaining the myth and urban legends that have been tied to business credit and the lifestyle living. Well, I'm gonna get business credit and get me a Benz, and that's not what it's, in my opinion,
Time
what
out,
it's
man.
used
Come
for. As
on.
a,
Come on now. Do you want me to
you got a
answer that?
Benz?
Yeah,
You
I
got a
do.
Benz?
And actually, it may be right up. I'm not. Which one I'm not going to say on air.
Okay.
Let's just say it's a really nice one. Let's just say it's a nice AMG and it's a big
Okay.
one. We're going to leave it like that because
Uh-huh.
I don't want ex girlfriends trying to find me all of a
Okay.
sudden. All right. Yeah, God bless me like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. So, so
Pop the
it's
collar.
over. It's over
Pop the
six.
collar.
It's over 6,000 pounds. So I could write it all off. This lasts for 100% write off, by the way, for those of you listening. But I did not use business credits in my personal name, unfortunately. But hey, it can be a good tax strategy, Darryl. Come on now.
I agree with you. It can be a good tax strategy if you use it only periodically, but there's some people who do crazy stuff like get a new car every year, which is retarded to me.
Well, no,
Not, I shouldn't
what
say
you lose the
retarded, but
tax benefit
it doesn't make a lot of sense, right?
because
So,
the gain
yeah,
on disposal,
right, yeah.
you're losing your savings. Yeah, it's
Right.
dumb.
So yeah, just a lot more people in the space and out there, and just like I said, dispelling the urban legend. So about business credit and using it more as a corporate tool and not a get rich quick type thing. I've been in corporate America for over 26 years, so that's how my approach to my files are. Like I said, I'm a processor and an underwriter. So that's my mentality is making sure that we give a good clean file because ultimately you're building your business for your family, but you're building it on a house of cards. Utilize your own personal credit and your own personal assets where you can definitely leverage business credit, other people's money, other people's credit, and just be smarter about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love it. I love it. Eric, you got any questions? I got some more, but I figured give you a chance. No.
And
Oh,
you almost had me spit on this screen. I know, man. I know.
Yeah, you just took some water.
So, Daryl, I guess the question is you mentioned there's not a lot of people in the space. Why don't more people use business credit? Because I know, we talk about buying a car. So, for instance, when I bought my car recently, there's dealers that will not allow you to use business credit. You have to personally guarantee it. Is that why, when it comes to some of those assets, some places will not allow you to use business credit? Is that why more people don't know about it?
well, is this a myth, Daryl? I want to clarify. Is this a myth that
Because
dealers won't
I've
use
been told that
business
I've been
credit?
told dealerships before they will not accept
Are you
businesses buying the
are you
car.
talking with the fleet division? Are you talking with the retail division?
Probably the retail. I mean, look, I have 5 to 7 people. I'm not buying everybody Benz in my firm. All right,
I,
I love y'all, but not that much.
Dang, I was gonna
I'll tell
come to
you.
his firm.
Uh,
Ye-
man,
I'll tell you.
man,
I'll tell you my story,
you're
Eric.
charming. I'm thinking about it.
So, Eric, I'm going to tell you my story. All right. So, when
Please.
I went to go looking for a car that I wanted to get my business name only, I got a lot of pushback from the original person, the salesperson, because they don't know what the heck you're talking about. 90% of sales, 95% probably, are with people that are putting their personal name on crap and doing their personal names. Okay, so you really need to talk if you're trying to do it. You got to talk to like a manager or some, like Darryl said, in the
Fleet
fleet
department.
division or
Yes.
something like that, commercial department,
Yep.
because those are the ones that know what they're doing. And you can buy any vehicle in your business credit name. That's bull crap. It's just a matter of, is the financing company going to accept it or not? Which, again, if you have good business credit, you got the sales to cover it, they're not going to have any heartburn over it. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't know, Darryl, what your opinion is.
No, you're dead on. You're dead on. Because most of the times, like with the credit cards and stuff, everybody goes into the retail store. The commercial division, they hide the phone number. You can't find them. You have to Google them. I mean, they have to really search to find the commercial division. I've talked to bankers, B of A, for example, been in banking for 20 plus years. When I first started talking to him about business credit, I'm going, he's like, that doesn't exist. There's no such thing. And I'm like, you realize B of A has a whole commercial division. He had no clue because he's in the retail. He was looking at me like I was the gangsta. It's kind of like, what are you talking about? I was lying. It's like, no, dude, you better look at this B of A. Because at the time I was processing out with a company out in Pasadena, California, and that's where I heard about business credit because B of A was expanding into business credit. But yeah, just going to the right department versus the retail versus the commercial division, apples to oranges.
Yeah, and if you think about it, I mean, it's a very advantageous thing to have it only in your business name. So they're not going to make it easy on you, right? I mean, they want you to personally guarantee it, so they're going to try to push you and push
Yep.
you and push you, to personally guarantee it. Again, you got to find the right division. You got to work at it a little bit, but as long as you have that credit history, you got your well. I'm not going to steal his thunder. Let me ask him my next question. Then he's going to hop into how you get business credit, right? So we talked about like why people don't have it, or why people don't know about it, but let's talk about how you get it. So can you give us kind of high level, again, we don't want to dig into too much of the weeds, but high level, kind of the steps on building your business credit and your EIN number
Okay.
so that you can actually go and buy that vehicle and get approved in just your business name.
Well, first of all, to buy the vehicle and get approved, your business has to have 2 years tax returns, it has to have revenue to pay the bill. Okay, that's the first thing out the gate. You can't go in there and try to buy a vehicle and your business just started and it has no revenue in it. We got a couple of different options to choose from, and you can leverage your good personal credit score, 680 across the board, to qualify for up to 150K in 0% interest corporate credit cards that they report to the business credit bureaus. Okay, those 0% interest credit cards can reset from up to 18 months. So I call it the fast track program. That program, you'll have those corporate credit cards in about 20 plus business days, give or take. Then you can start reporting because every business credit card doesn't report to the credit bureau. That they might give you a line of credit, but it won't report to the business or the personal. Kind of goes back to he who has the gold makes the rules. Well, I'll give you a line of credit, but I'm not going to report it. So therefore, it's not helping you build business credit. The other program we have, if you do not have the 680 credit score, you're working with a credit coach, and it's really like an education course along with building out the credit score and credit profile. That one takes about 6 months or so to amass $50,000 in different trade lines from net 30s to gas credit cards, store credit cards, MasterCard and Visa is the last leg of the program because they need to see a certain paydex score and all of those trade lines that you have a relationship with before they'll give you the cash credit cards. So these are proven methods. Like I said, working with a Fortune 500 company, it works. It works. So those are two options.
Okay, those are two options, but okay, dig a little more into the weeds for me. Okay,
Okay.
so if let's say you want to go the old school method of building your business credit, right? what's the starting point? Like getting your trade accounts,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Start give some people a little bit of flavor on
Okay.
kind of the steps that it takes to build it out.
First thing we're going to do with that program is do a compliance checklist. We want to see that you're structured correctly right out the gate before we even start trying to apply for the different vendor types through the program. What we're going to do is look at your business name, okay? The business name can get you denied right out the gate because if you're in a high risk industry, liquor store, beauty shop, marijuana, that's a red flag for the computer algorithms. The way the program is set up, when that business name question, it's going to have two videos explaining you the importance of a business name, how it can get you denied. Just what I said in a nutshell, those two videos is going to address the importance of your business name. So if you're in a high risk industry, consulting, marketing, Darryl's consulting company, Darryl's marketing company. The next thing I'm going to do is a big one is email address. Everyone will have Yahoo, a free email account. And my question in my workshops is how many corporations and businesses do you know of that has a free email account?
None.
Exactly. And an example I use in a workshop is, hey, can I borrow $500 from you? And I turn around and give you a cell phone number, I give you a Gmail account, and then I give you a PO box. Because that's the other thing too we look at is an address. A lot of people don't know that home businesses, you can have a home businesses with COVID. The guidelines have loosened up for the most part. There are some lenders out there that still kind of frown upon a home address, but compensating factors, meaning if more of your file is green versus red flag, compensating factor. They can give more weight to your structure is done correctly versus having too many red. So using that address, we suggest a virtual address as opposed to a PO box. The PO box is certainly to get a red flag, and all we know is what your internet footprint looks like. And what I mean by that is the Secretary or the IRS, when you sign that paperwork, you're saying this is true and factual information. So the IRS is going to update their database with your business's most current address off your most current tax returns. So now you go to apply for credit, the IRS database talks to the Secretary of State's database to match address. So if your business moved, that's one red flag. Now you got a Yahoo account, a second red flag. So the more red flags, the more it's going to lead to a no versus a yes. That's why that compliance checklist, how you are structured foundationally right out the gate is so important before we even try to go into start establishing credit. Not to mention getting your Dun and Bradstreet number, which we can talk about D&B in its own little time frame because that's a whole nother conversation right there. So that's the first thing is that compliance checklist. And address also people don't understand when you use your home address, like Missouri's. Missouri has a link, Google Maps. You can put in my business name, you can click on it, and it's going to come right down to your address. So if you use your home address with the Secretary of State, in certain states, they got a mapping system. So for security, and I tell people that, especially single women, you don't want to use your home address for your business. Get a virtual office. That'll be the better way, smarter way to go.
And let's be real, people. For my small business owners out there, that's just common business sense. Why in the world would you want a, a million people knowing where you live? Like, come on, just get go get a virtual address at the minimum. It's like 150 bucks a month. So you can even find some probably cheaper. But get yourself a virtual address. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to be using your home address for something like that. Now, the only place where you can't usually, well, technically you're not supposed to. You want to talk to a lawyer about this, but I do see there is some discussion on from lawyers like, can you use it on your Secretary of State filings if you can't actually be served if you're the statutory agent? That's the one part that you have to be a little careful on. As a statutory agent, you should usually have a more physical address where they can actually serve you. So you'll eat, but what you could do to get around that is use like a third party place that does that. It's like 100 to 150 bucks a year, and they will serve as your statutory agent. So, anyways, throw that out there.
Very good information.
Okay. So what's next? So you got your compliance check done. What's the next
So
step?
let's talk about D&B, Dun& and Bradstreet, because I get a lot of questions on that. Dun& and Bradstreet's gangsta. They started the whole game. I told people I didn't invent business credit. D&B, Dun& and Bradstreet's been around since about 1800. And at the one time they would sell their old data to Experian and Equifax. TransUnion does not do business credit. So if you get someone telling you TransUnion business credit, walk away. They don't know what they're talking about. Okay. So Dun and Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax all have their version of business credit that they sell. In doing your due diligence, you will research that and see that you to get a balanced credit file, you've got to sign up with all three. On average, a 2K a piece, about 6 grand to get on all three platforms. But with Dun and Bradstreet, people will say, "Well, I got my D&B number," and they're all proud of it. They don't know how to use it, and I explained to them that D&B number is really just used in Dun and Bradstreet's world to track your business's payment experiences, how well your company pays its bills. That's really all it's used for. You get applications when they want to pull your DNB number. You'll ask you in the application to put your Dun and Bradstreet number so they can pull your DNB number. The other thing that's been out there is it was used for government contracts. It's changed. Government contracts now use and I always forget the terminology, a unique identifier number. They moved away from Dun and Bradstreet using that number for government contracts. So people on the street think, well, they don't the Dun and Bradstreet, they don't use it anymore. And I ask, have you seen anywhere where they say they don't use Dun and Bradstreet to get the money? Well, no, I haven't. They haven't taught. They still use that number to get the money. It's just on the government system that they changed to that unique identifier number for that piece. SBA uses what's called a SBSS score, Small Business Scoring System, where it's a combination of your personal credit and your business credit that makes that 140 to 160 score. So the first thing when they try to get an SBA loan, they're going to pull that score. So if you don't have that 140 to 160, you're not even going to make it to second base. They aren't going to be able to help you.
Nice playoff baseball analogy. Love it.
So, all right. So, yeah, we've got these various credit reporting agencies. Okay, so next step is after you kind of understand all that, we're gonna go and get some vendor accounts, right?
Right,
So we're gonna get some vendor accounts at some various places. We're not going to go into all the places that you can go do it, but basically you can go do that, right?
right.
And so you got different tiers like for the vendor accounts, right?
Four,
How many tiers?
four.
4 tiers, okay, so that you're trying to go out and get. And these are all, again, just in using the EIN number, just in your business name, and hopefully they're reporting to the credit bureaus. If you use a program like Darryl's program, he
They
makes sure
all
that they're
are.
reporting to the credit bureaus,
Yes.
and so that you kind of get that to qualify. And how many accounts do you need to be reporting before you can move to the next level?
The first trigger, the first level is the vendor count net 30s. You need anywhere from 3 to 5. And I say 3 to 5 because the credit reporting cycle, 30 days after you make the purchases. So if you get 3 to 5, and that's on the Dun and Bradstreet platform, once you see those reporting to the various credit reporting agencies, we work with all three. So it might be one on the DNB, two on Experian. So we work with all three. Once you see them all reporting, that's the trigger. You're ready for level 2. Rinse and repeat from a list of accounts that we already have vetted, have them on our platform. You literally can read about the account. It'll tell you who it reports to. Sometimes we'll even know the day of the month that they're going to send that credit file to the credit bureau. So it's no guessing, it's follow the bouncing ball, work with your credit coach. They're there to guide you, answer questions. It is so straightforward. Same logic applies. Level two, apply, purchases, pay it, because you're building a credit score and credit profile. That's why you're not personally guaranteeing anything, because you're making the purchases and you're paying for them and you're reporting them to the credit bureaus as normal.
Yep.
Level
There you go.
four is where everybody wants to be. It's the motherland, MasterCard and Visas. That's where everybody wants to do, the cash credit cards. Okay, but that's why there's a method to the madness, 4 levels: vendor accounts, second level, store credit, second and third level, store credit cards, gas credit cards, and then fourth level, MasterCard and Visas, because they need to see a certain paydex score and all of those trade lines to qualify, kind of pre-qualify you actually for the MasterCard and Visas.
Yep. There you go. Well, there's some secrets to success right there. And then after that, you can get into stuff like vehicles, like what we were talking about. You get into commercial loans, like for office buildings and stuff like that. You can get into, I don't know, what else am I missing? What's all the various stuff out there? Lines of credit,
You name it.
all kind of stuff,
Lines of
right?
credit's is a
So
big one.
yeah, you can get into a bunch of spaces of financing for your business that's solely in the business name. And I'll tell you why I think this is important just as a CPA. It's being fiscally responsible for your business, right? So, what you don't want to do is put yourself so much on the line for your business that if something goes wrong, the business fails for some reason. There could be a number of reasons. You can get sued, you can, accidentally hurt somebody, you can, I
Die.
don't know, die, pass away, right? So you don't want this to impact your personal life and your family by having all this debt or business credit type stuff that is personally guaranteed, because now if that's personally guaranteed, they can come after your estate. They can come get funds from you if you file, and you might be forced to file like bankruptcy, which is just devastating to your personal life. So this is why I think this is so essential and important, and I really hope that our listeners uh, you know really take heed to this and actually encourage everyone to consider getting some of this done. It's not. I I, I hear people talk about, oh, this is a scam, and this is fraud and blah blah blah. You shouldn't be doing this. That's crap. Big multinational corporations. Do you think their CEOs and CFOs are personally guaranteeing their crap? No, they're not.
No, they're using the company's balance sheet.
This is this is
I, I,
absolutely
do- I do I
legitimate.
do premium finance insurance
Yes.
deals. People at that level, they're using their
Yeah.
assets. They're not using. Yeah,
Absolutely. This is
another discussion
absolutely
of the day.
legitimate. So this is not a scam. This is not fraud. Um, it, Darryl's a legitimate person. I've known him for years. He's helped a lot of people out in getting their business credit. And I just think it's a great opportunity for people to take advantage of this. So I just told you a little bit about my story. I was able to get a vehicle in my business name only. I have a few credit cards that are in my business name only. So always opportunities that you can do that. So, anywho,
My very first business credit client, he was managing some out in California, managing some hip hop stars and stuff. We got out of managing, and he used his corporate credit card. He pulled out the cash on it, used that for his down payment on his Smoothie King franchise. So
Ooh,
that debt sit on the company and not him personally.
I
And
like that.
he just had to show the cash because that was his operating cash. So there's advanced strategies as you get 10,000, 20,000 on a credit card, and not to mention sales departments. All these guys in the sales departments have their corporate credit cards. We just don't know that they're available with at our level. You're active in good shape with the Secretary of State, EIN number that your company can get the corporate credit cards, and there are some advanced strategies that you need in place because they said you're building this your business for what? For your family, but you're putting them more at risk, leveraging your personal credit and your assets to your company. I had one guy, or actually, met with some partners, and they were in a mess. Older guys trying to retire, and their business had really gone down in numbers. And then the one partner asked me, "How can you convince me to get business credit?" And I said, "First of all, you called me here because you got a problem. You guys tied your houses to your company, and if you had divorced yourself from your company years ago, you wouldn't be in this situation. So I'm not here to convince you of anything. Business credit just makes sense. It just makes sense. And then learn what the big boys are doing. The big boys are using other people's money, other people's credit."
Absolutely. And I just want to add just real quick if I can, and I'll let Eric chime in if he has something else for you. A recent win that I had, I don't think I've told you about this, Darryl, but I just happened in the last month or two here. But I actually got approved for a Dell business line of credit. Again, just in the business name, EIN number only, no social security number given. Got approved for I think like $10,000 line of credit with Dell, which I use for my computers for my firm and my staff. So that was pretty sweet. And then
Wait a minute, where's my
other,
computer?
you know, I'm my part of my staff. And other
Dude, it's a Dell. You don't want it. Go with
Hey,
Apple.
I'll take a deal. I'll take it.
I love Dell. They work really good for me. So and then a couple other vendors that I've used, Floor and Decor.
Hmm.
I've been getting involved in real estate stuff recently. They have a lot of great stuff for real estate. Have a card with them that has like a $9,000 credit limit for buying stuff at their store. And it's again in my business name only. And they also offer 6 months, same as cash financing when you use their card, which is pretty sweet. So it gives you some time to pay it off. And then you got Home Depot. Home Depot also does business credit only in the EIN number. So there's a lot of different vendors that you probably aren't thinking about that you use every day that you can actually get commercial cards that are solely in your business EIN number. So just kind of throwing it out there as something to consider. I don't know, Eric, you got anything else you want to ask or add?
No.
No? I guess we've done such a great job covering it, Darryl. He has
Yeah.
nothing else to say.
I have nothing to say, man.
So, are you going to go get some business credit now that we've had this conversation?
Who, me? Yeah, I probably actually need to, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, because it can help you, because I know you have like a lot of receivables, right, outstanding. So, businesses that have a lot of receivables outstanding, this could be a great way to kind of finance some of those as well by getting
Actually, yeah,
yourself,
we should have a conversation. Yeah, because
financing.
I have, well, I don't want to say how much
Yeah,
receivables, but
yeah. I was careful not to
Say
say too
numbers.
I
much.
know. Because again, man, listen, man, I got these exes in Houston that bother me periodically. I don't all of a sudden be like, oh, hey, Eric, it's nice to see you again. Like, no, 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 no. I'm seeing one person only. I don't need any of that other stuff.
Yeah. So, Darryl, is there anything else that we missed that you wanted to kind of add before we finish it up?
Just that we talked about. It's a necessary tool. That's how every company in America leverages that credit to grow and scale. If you're gonna, our mentality sometimes is cash is king. You're gonna make just enough cash to really make you upset because you're never gonna be able to grow past selling 20 of this, and you'll make the same amount of money. Get off the hamster wheel. Get the business credit. Start moving that debt over because you're going to be balance transfers. So if you did use your personal credit card, do a balance transfer onto the 0% interest credit card. So it just gives you more options, ton more options that every business owner needs to have if you get a rough month where you can't make payroll.
And what's going to happen when you do that balance transfer? If you understand personal credit, what happens when you decrease your outstanding amounts on your credit cards for your personal credit? It shoots up your credit
Yeah,
score. If you get that off your personal credit profile and onto a business credit profile only, business credit profiles don't care quite as much. I mean, they do it to a certain extent, but not quite as much about the usage because they expect businesses to use their line of credit. They care more about your payment
right.
history and your payment terms and stuff like that, right? So, but whereas your personal credit is based majority on that, it's based like if you use too much credit and you're maxing it out, they consider you high risk. even if you're paying your bills on time, which I think is just crazy and asinine, but that's how it works. So we got to play the game, right?
That's it.
So it is what it is. So yeah, that's another. That's actually a good point. I didn't think about mentioning that in terms of doing the balance transfers, getting off your personal name
Exactly.
and into the business name, and now the business is paying, you know, that 0% interest, and so you got some time to kind of pay it down, and it's off your credit profile. So it's
Exactly.
pretty sweet.
The other thing I'm going to add too is that the one program for the 680 credit score, you can have a credit partner. So if your credit isn't 680 and your credit file isn't strong enough, you can have a credit partner who meets those guidelines. You can piggyback off their good credit to get those corporate credit cards in your company's EIN number. So
There you go.
creative financing. I've been in the business for quite a while, so can talk to consumer credit, business credit, lending, residential lending. Oh, I don't know if I told you guys. Well, Ignatius, I got a hybrid model. I'm still in corporate America doing loan processing for a wealth management bank out of New York. So we get a lot of crazy deals with those files, but people are leveraging credit. That's the way to do it. It's the way to do it.
All right, so to kind of end things here, so how do people get a hold of you? Uh, what's maybe if you want to share some of the cost of, you mentioned a couple programs, maybe if you want to share some of the cost of the programs and kind of what people
Okay.
get for that, and kind of how people get a hold of you. That way, you kind of potentially have some sales coming your way for sharing your knowledge with us
Thank
today.
you. Appreciate that. The best way to get a hold of me is on my website, businesscreditworks.com. I've got it set up for a Zoom appointment or a phone consultation. You'll get text reminders the whole 9 yards, businesscreditworks.com. Pricing wise, for the 680 or it's called the hybrid program, um, that one the cost of that one is 10% of what you're actually funded for. So once you go through underwriting with the soft credit pull, they'll come back and tell you you're approved, and that could be approval for 50K. So it's going to cost you 5K to get you 50K. Then we're going to invoice you, and then you're going to pay us with one of your 0% interest credit cards we just got you. So now that's on your business credit card, and based on your tax bases, you guys know could be potential write-off. So no money out of
So
pocket,
that's the key. So nothing up front.
right?
Wait till you get the cards. You're actually approved. Whatever you're approved for, and you get the cards in the mail, then you go ahead and pay that invoice, right? So
Exactly,
it's a
exactly.
pretty good program, if you ask me. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a fee, but you, think about it this way: it's just like tax services. I know me and Eric have talked about this before. You get what you pay for. Like, do you want to spend the time digging through all the knowledge and trying to figure it out on your
Right.
own, calling all these companies, etc., or do you want to use someone who's already done all that groundwork for you? That's what you're paying them for. You're paying them for all the time that they've already done the groundwork for you, right?
Exactly.
And they know exactly who you are going to qualify with based on your profile, and they're going to get you whatever your goal is and what you're trying to get to. And if they don't, then they don't get paid. So it's kind of,
Exactly.
that's a pretty good program from my standpoint.
Exactly. And
So
that's why you hire a
yeah,
consultant. The consultants fast track you because how much is your time really worth? You know, and people that try to figure it out of themselves, it'll be a year, 2 years, 5 years, and they're no closer, and they still just have vendor accounts when you could have paid somebody and you could have been gone about your business. But you're trying to watch your money and do the cheap way. So that's why you hire consultants, specialists in those areas to fast track you and make sure you're doing things correctly.
yeah,
Mhm.
there you go. And then what about the other
The
program?
other program, we're working with the credit coach. We've got two options. We've got with a credit coach, it's a one-time fee of about $2,800. That'll get you $50,000, anywhere from 8 to 14 trade lines once you're done with the 6-month program. Then the other option is $14.95 without the credit coach. You want to do it on your own, but you want the so you want the answers to the test. It's all mapped out for you, but you don't want to talk to anybody? Great. We got the 1495 program for you.
And I'll just I haven't asked you this beforehand, so I don't know what you're going to say, but I'll just throw it out there. Is there any sort of promo you want to give our CPA Huddle listeners if they're listening to this podcast to
Yeah,
maybe try
yeah.
some business?
We can do that. I also want to let you guys know that I also offer in-house financing. So what that looks like on a $2,800 and a $1,495 program, you can get a loan for the cost of those two programs. And right on the website, there's a link to put down a $200 deposit, go through, get the loan, get funded, then we just send you an invoice for the difference. So that's also on the website too. So for the listeners here, what we can do is I wish I had got a time to get a special code, promo code that they can just,
Sorry, I know.
yeah,
Blindsided you a bit.
yeah, put into the website, then it tracks it all.
Just make it up and add it to it later. So want to do just CPA Huddle?
Yeah, exactly.
CPA
Huddle.
Huddle, baby. Make
There
it
you
easy.
go.
Yeah, and because you can go on the website and you can pay for it all on the website. The two programs, the 2,800 and the 1,495, is going to be on those two programs. CPA Huddle will be the code. I'll get it set up, and then what we can do 15% off both programs.
Cool.
Sure, why not?
Hey, there you go, people. We got it here first. All right. Special promo code for you on Business Credit Works website. You'll have that set up, maybe in the next day?
Yeah, exactly. We're doing the show here,
so-
Eric. We're taking vitamins, you're
I know,
washing
we
your
got
hair.
I should buy. I gotta keep myself prepped, man. You know, I gotta continue to make myself attractive for my lady friend, right? In case she watches, right? I mean, she told people to stay we're dating, so I have to look good now that she basically planted the flag.
The pressure.
I know, man. I mean, I lost 4 more pounds since I got back, so I got to. Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There you go. So CPA Huddle, businesscreditworks.com, 15% off the two programs that are the 6-month programs, either do it yourself or with a credit coach, right? And so, yeah, go out and get that. Or if you want to take the fast track route, that's the 10% fee on whatever they get you approved for, and you kind of go from there. So thank you, Darryl, for joining us today. It was very enlightening. I think our listeners will receive some good value from this conversation, and we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us.
No, thanks for inviting me. I enjoyed it. All right. Good meeting you, Eric.
Eric, you want to take us out?
All right. Thank you for joining the newest episode of CPA Huddle with Darryl Johnson, who looks like Emmett Smith, not Uncle Phil. Hope you learned something about business credit. Continue to follow us on CPA Huddle on Google Play, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also go to cpahuddle.com. We'll be back soon, another great episode. Leave us a 5-star review. Otherwise, you're a hater.
Thanks, everybody.
Hook 'em horns. And by the way,
Devils.
it's
Go Devils.
Hold on. It's 6:48 p.m. in Austin, Texas, and OU still sucks.
Okay. Dang. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
See you later.